Wonderful. All right. Good evening and welcome to our weekly Monday night Alive to Thrive team call. I get the honor of introducing our guest trainer tonight. But before I do that, I just wanted to bring our attention to a couple of announcements. So first of all, I was so delighted to see that in honor of Ari Cooper's birthday, the company is offering free membership for new associates for 2 weeks. I've never seen it happen for 2 weeks. So between now and May 29th, 2016, anyone who enrolls for the first time with an initial product order of 164 BV or higher will get free membership. And for those who start with a system that already has free membership, they will get a $29 credit, and it all just be automatically, no coupons needed. And I believe all of that information is posted in our business page. And the other thing is, I love events, you guys, and we have an amazing one coming up here in the Northwest. This coming Saturday is Super Saturday with Kirsty Cody, who is John Anderson's daughter, will be here, along with Zach and Eden Slobin. So if you're from the Northwest, get your ticket. And it has an earlier start date, so you can get all the information at isagenixevents.com. If you're not here in the Northwest, go to isagenixevents.com and find the closest Super Saturday to you. Grab your friends and get a ticket and attend. You know, events build your belief, and it's belief that builds your business. So, and if you don't have your ticket to Celebration yet, I'd say get it tonight. They still have tickets left, and one of these days we're going to get the notice that it's all sold out, and you do not want to miss this event. And if you're serious about building your business, non-negotiable. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share. One other thing, the Chicago ISA University is happening on Friday and Saturday. They're live streaming the whole event for a $25 donation to Make-A-Wish. So, you know, if you can't get to a Super Saturday, or you just tune into some fabulous training and new product launch. Jim and Kathy Cooper will be there. Eric will be emceeing. So obviously, $25 contribution will be worth it. So be in the know. Okay, so now I get the honor of introducing one of my favorite people, Rod Brooks. So last week, Bonnie trained on the importance of your daily method of operation to provide that consistent daily activity to move your business forward. And we introduced a tool called Commit to 3 to help us with that. And Rod's going to train on that and share more detail about that tonight. So I invited Rod to join me in this incredible Isagenix journey almost 2 years ago. Took him a few months for the big yes, and he said yes about 18 months ago, and he hasn't looked back. So Rod was a high school classmate of mine, and he's the ASB vice president. And we got reacquainted at our 40th class reunion a few years ago. And Rod's an incredible human being. For those of you who are, you know, present in our community, you know he has a heart of service and such a generous spirit, just giving all day long. Rod is a chief marketing officer for a regional insurance company for the past 17 years, and he's been involved in many community as well as professional organizations. So he's just he's a giver, and he's building an incredible team, people who I'm just loving getting to know. He's a Crystal executive on One Star Golden Circle. And Rod, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay, well, thank you for that really generous introduction, Brenda. It's just great. It's an honor to be here and do this with you guys. And I've got a couple housekeeping things. I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to remind Bonnie to record. And so we'll take care of that. Well, we have the opportunity. And you probably are seeing a messy desk. But now you should be able to see a slide that says commit to 3. Anybody want a thumbs up? Good deal. Thank you. I've got to make that a little smaller. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Well, first of all, as Brenda said, last week we were talked with Life by Bonnie and taught about the importance of making commitments, having focus, holding ourselves accountable, and planning for our own success. And with that, we talked about a tool. Well, the tool is not an Isagenix tool. It's a tool that was discovered. Doug Snyder, did I get that right? Yeah, Doug mentioned it to us on a team call about a year ago. And some of us just tried to pick it up and take it to the next level. And I think we floundered around with it for a little while. And then eventually it's set aside. And then it was reintroduced to us very recently. And I think now that we've had some trial and error with it and we've learned some of the things that I hope I can share with you tonight that have helped us build some success, we're finding it to be very, very worthwhile. So as I said, it's a wonderful tool, but it's a team tool. It can be used as an individual, but tonight we're talking about it as a team, either a team you're on or a team you create, a group of people who want to have success together. So there's 2 ways to use the tool, and that's what we're going to talk about tonight is the 2 ways to use a tool, 2 different kinds of tools. And the first one is for those people who want to do it on their desktop, a desktop computer, which, by the way, is free. That tool is free. You can log in to Commit to 3. I'll have the web address for you at the end, but it's very simple. It's just committo3.com. And this is the page that you would see if you've never been a member before, or if you've been a member and are logged out. So I want to just give you a tour of about 3 slides to show you around. The first thing is right here. If you can see my pointer, there's a short 2-minute video that talks about the tool when you log in. And there is a brief description underneath that about how it works and how to use the tool. Then right over here in the upper right-hand corner, for those people who have been a user, you can log in anytime you want by just putting in your name. I used my email address. I think everybody uses their email address. I think that's the requirement. And then I made up a password, and I would just click this button to log in. But if you have never been a member before and never have used this free tool, then you ignore that box for now and you come down to this box, and you're new to Commit to 3. It asks you for your full name, again, your email address, and the password that you would like to use. So it's very simple to get started on the desktop, to take a tour, to look at the video, and once you log in, this is the screen that you will see. Now, this is my screen a couple days ago. Well, I guess it was on May 15th, so yesterday, on Sunday. And on the desktop version, you get to see everything in just about one view. It's a couple of clicks. I'm going to give you a tour, and you can see that I happen to be on 3 teams. The one that's showing is called Rod's team. It has 4 people in it. There's one called Isagenix Accountability that I was invited to, and I think has 5 or 6 people in it. And then there was a team that I created during the weekend called Team Kreidner, where a lot of our friends, the Kreidner family and a few others are involved. So I'm on 3 teams. And the one that's showing is the one that's highlighted. So if I would have clicked on Isagenix Accountability, I would have seen a completely different group of people. If I click on Team Kreidner, I'd see a different group of people. Now, on Sunday, and I'm going to talk about this later, but on Sunday, I kind of wanted to unwind a little bit. I knew I was going to do a few things Isagenix, but most of my day for Sunday, I had told my team was to enjoy some R&R time with my wife and recharge. But I did have one couple that had requested product information. I told them I'd get it to them by the end of the weekend. So I knew I wanted to do that. So I made a commitment to do that. And then something that I like to do when I'm having a down day, when I'm not really focused and heavy lifting, is I try to build up a little inventory of power posts that I'm going to use the next week, something that I can make on the weekend. Maybe I'm using a picture, and I just put a little bit of folder together. Faith talked about that with us a week or two ago, about having an inventory. And so that was my commitment. And those would be the three that I had committed to on Sunday. You'll see in a minute that they're somewhat different than what my normal week looks like. But on this particular team, other people were just getting started with this team, so we didn't have everybody with their commitments in yet, and a couple were taking the day off. And it showed how long we had been going over the last 7 days. And what I want to point out here is the blue bar that's dark blue says how many of the four of us actually made commitments. So that day, 100% of the four of us made commitments. And how many of the commitments that were made got honored? That's the light blue. So that is the completion rate. And on May 10th, 100% participated and 100% honored. Now you can look down here and see on May 14th, only 75% participated, but 100% of those that were committed were honored. So when there's only a 4-person group, it's kind of easy to know that 1 out of 4 didn't participate. But the idea is to keep both of these bars up to the top, and we're going to talk about some strategies for that. The last little part on this slide is always pay attention to what day you're looking at. Today is easy. Today is today. But if you were going to make some commitments for tomorrow and you were going to do that today, you would click on May 16th. You click on the day that you want to make commitments for, even if that's 3 or 4 days from now. I've made commitments 2 days out before because I knew what I was going to do, like on a Super Saturday. I'm committed to be there. I could work that far out, I think, if I wanted to. Up here in the upper corner, there's a few tabs. If I didn't make a screenshot of this, but if I had and I clicked on Teams, then I would have seen all of the teams I'm on and all of the people that are on those teams. And it would tell me whether I'm the team owner, because somebody has to start a team, or if I'm a team member. And it could tell me if I'm a team owner, it would let me remove people or add people. So when you get out here, just explore. You can't break it. Just click on Teams and you'll see what's underneath there. Settings is got just a few settings. It'll let you change your password. It'll make sure that your email address is right. I learned tonight in talking with Bonnie that you can actually turn email notifications off or not. One of my pet peeves is it sends me an email every time one of my teammates completes all 3 of their commits. Now, I've got really good teammates, so that means I might get 20 emails during a day that says, Brenda made her commitments, Jamin made her commitments, Tom made his commitments. And so it's nice to know, but I'll probably be turning that off. Learn more. You'll go in there and there's a lot of information about how the company came to be, some tips, some suggestions for how to use it a little more productively. And they also have a blog that they keep posts on things that they have learned along the way. So that's everything I wanted to show you on that slide. Now, this is the same public website. I just wanted to show you one alternate view. I mean, it's the same view, but before I had clicked on Rod's team, and here I had clicked on Isagenix Accountability. Now, this team had been up and running, and I was just welcomed into it last week. This team has a great track record. Look at how that team had been performing, everybody participating, most everybody getting everything done each day. On this particular day, everything was checked off. These were my commitments. Now, this is why this was a weekday, May 13th, And so I wanted to be more productive than I was on Sunday. And I said, I've got a follow-up that I need to do with Craig and Kim. I've got a 3-way call with Denise and Linda. And I've got a friend named Debbie who I'm inviting either to Super Saturday on this coming Saturday or to Tom's launch party on Sunday. And so those were business productivity commitments. Something I've learned, trial and error, is don't just do your stuff and move on. I've been reading other people's commitments. And what I've found is every once in a while, I see people repeating activity over and over again. And then I want to ask them, if I'm not familiar with it, what is that activity? How is it working for you? It seems like you're doing it regularly. It must be pretty good. Today, Bonnie had one in her commitments that said an out-of-box call. Well, when I use the phrase out of the box, I'm thinking it's new and creative and wild. So I asked her about it. She said, no, that's my commitment. Anytime somebody gets the box of product for the first time, I commit to calling them and helping them. So I thought, oh, that's a new one for me. So I learned a little something. So do learn by seeing what other people are committing to and how their business is growing. Okay, so that's everything for the desktop that we're going to go through tonight. If you had any questions, we're going to do questions at the end. Now we're going to talk to the people who would like to do it in terms of an app. And you can do both. They sync together. Every time you check something on the app, it records on the desktop and vice versa. They do not have an app yet for Android phones or Android tablets, only for Apple-based products, so iPhones or iPads. So I'm starting you here in the App Store for Apple. And if you were here, you would have searched using this phrase, commit to 3, all one word with the number 3, putting it in the search box, and it would have brought up this selection. Happens that commit to 3 is in the upper left-hand corner. Mine says open because I already bought it. If you haven't bought it yet, I've seen 2 prices in there over the last year. I've seen $1.99 a year, and I've seen $2.99 a year. I know that they can go in and run promotions and they give it up different prices, but it's pretty consistently between $2 and $3 a year. Something I learned when I was making this demonstration was that if I searched, I didn't get it unless in this right here, if I pick iPhone only, it shows up. If I pick iPad only, it won't show up because they don't have an iPad specific application. They have an iPhone application that works on the iPad. Okay, it works on the phone and the pad, same application. So I wanted to make sure you saw that because it took me a little while to find that. When you search, then drop down box over here, iPhone only or iPad only. You want to pick iPhone only. Okay. So this, different from the desktop, this is how it looks when you're using the iPhone app on your iPad or your iPhone. So this happened to be May 13th. It was the Isagenix Accountability Group. And these were, when I selected this view, it showed me my commitments. If I wanted to see a different team, because see I'm on the team tab right here down at the bottom. If I wanted to see a different team, I just click on Isagenix Accountability and all the teams I'm on will drop down and I can pick whichever one I want to see. So that's important because if you're on more than one team, I happen to be on 3 teams right now. I want to see how I'm doing on all 3 teams. I want to record it on all 3 teams. If I would have clicked the boxes to the right, it would have shown me how everybody is doing on May 13th. Okay, so this is how Rod's doing. This is how everybody on the team is doing. If I wanted to add a member to the team, somebody, a 6th person, I just click plus member. To do that, I need to know their email address. You can't add them unless you know their email address. Okay? So Remember this page on the team tab. I had set it for just my view, but guess what? Remember, you know how you touch a screen on a smart device and it scrolls up and down with your finger? Well, I couldn't demonstrate that here, but I could show you that underneath my name was at the top, and your name would be at the top of your team, but I can scroll down with my finger, and then I see what Jamin's doing. And I could go a little further, and I would see what Bonnie's doing. And so anybody on this team, I can see when I select this view and scroll down. Okay. All right, now it's time to make commitments. How does that happen? So the night before May 16th, so this probably was on May 15th, this is how this page looked, completely empty. And it said, enter your first commitment, enter your second commitment, enter your third commitment. That's all that you can do. It's commit to 3, not commit to 7. And it's not commit to 1. It won't let you commit to 1 without it kind of scolding you. Are you sure you only want to commit to one thing? It's commit to 3. Okay. Since I'm on 3 teams, I know I'm committing to Rod's team. If I click on that, the drop-down menu will come down. I'll get the other 2 teams listed, and then I could make commitments there. Now, the next day, I was ready to, not the next day. That night, I just put my cursor in the box and I start typing. So invite Bob to ATTN Facebook page. That would be an example. Make a 3-way call with Brenda. Okay, that would be another one. But that's over here. All of that's happening on the commits tab. The things I had shown you before was on the team tab. Now I'm showing you activity on the commits tab. All right. So now I'm in the day. I like to make these the night before. And guess what? I wake up in the morning and I know what I've committed to, but nothing happened. Didn't happen in my sleep. It's not like getting paid. So what I had done the night before is I said, and this is before Sunday, have time for R&R with Cindy and recharge. Well, check that box. Build up inventory of Power Posts. Did that. But it was last night. This was like yesterday, Sunday night. It was last night about 10:30 when I finally got the email off to Craig and Kim for the product information they had requested before the end of the weekend. And I know, I got to tell you, I would not have done it. I wouldn't have done it until this morning when I felt better and felt refreshed. But I had an unchecked box, and that kept me going. And I wanted to do it for me, and I wanted to do it for my team, because our goal is to get to the top of the bar chart. Just a little sidebar. I was telling this to Bonnie early, and I just thought I'd share it with you. Is before Brenda introduced me to this wonderful company and product line, and I was very, very overweight and tired of it, I was kind of white knuckling it. I knew as a smarter person that I shouldn't be eating crap, and I should be eating a little bit more healthy, and I should be moving more. So I just started. I started walking more and eating smarter. And I was committed to myself. But commitments to yourself are easy to break, unless you're one of those kinds of people that just has great diligence. And I have a blog, my personal blog, and I started blogging about what I was doing. And I don't have a lot of followers, I didn't think, but pretty soon I noticed a lot of people were commenting. And I thought, well, I wonder what happened if I put that on Facebook. So I decided to go public. And anybody who was on my Facebook page could see what my weight was that week, how many miles I walked that week, what I was doing differently, and how my progress was going. And the next thing I knew, I was getting applause and pats on the back. And boy, was I proud. And I told people this, they said, what's the secret to your success? You're not on a diet. You're not even on any kind of a nutrition program. I said, the secret to my success is public accountability. When I told people I'm going to do something, and when they recognized me for doing it, it made a whole bunch of difference. And that's what this tool is based on. Not just commitments to yourself, but commitments to your team and to your team's commitment to you. The last part of this app is this last lower right-hand corner tab, which is the same thing you saw on the desktop version. It's the stats. So you could track your team's productivity. So those are two ways, two tools, one that's no more than $3 a year, one that's free. I use them both. When I'm near my desktop, at work, I keep the Commit to 3 up on my desktop. When I'm living my busy life, I have it on my phone and on my iPad. I wanted to introduce just a couple of resources. There is a Commit to 3 Facebook page. And I've noticed that there's some tips out there. I see a few of my friends are out here. Tatiana's out here and 3 other friends are out here. And I've just started to explore this, and I found some videos. I found some suggestions. So if you're a person who can have one more Facebook page in your life, might want to check it out. I mentioned that they have a blog. I haven't gone as deeply into the blog as I did in the Facebook page, but I did see some interesting articles and some comments from people who were having success with this tool. So you can learn about the company out on the blog, and you can see other things. So a couple more resources. Today, some of you might have noticed in a Live to Thrive business, I posted a TED Talk. It's an 18-minute video that talks about the founder and his discovery of his need to commit. His story wasn't too different than mine. But what's interesting, you will find interesting, is that the whole concept came from health and wellness. First, his father's failed health and his father's inability to know his grandchildren. And if you know me, you know how important the Grandpa Project is to me. And then the son who said, that will never happen to me. I need to make commitments to myself to not allow that to happen. And he failed because he didn't have a group of people to help him. I think you'll find that interesting. So we got 2 more slides, and then we'll have some questions and answers. Here's some tips. These did not come out of a book. These are things that a few of us learned trial and error. We're suggesting that you form a team. Somebody takes the lead and creates a team and invites some people to be on it. It seems that 4 to 8 people is about the right mix. It will hold more than that, but it gets real busy. The talk gets real busy. Have a team focus. Make sure that you are all focused on the same thing. For the purpose of tonight's call, our focus is about business building. I would encourage you to find a group of like-minded people who would like to make commitments to grow their business. There's certainly other options. I've heard of people making commitments to spend more time with their family. There's lots of ways to use this tool, but having a team focus that's intentional is important. I'm going to have some suggestions for that on the next slide. One thing we've learned is that it's a good idea to create separately from this a team communication thread. So the teams I'm on have either created a Facebook private message group, maybe a text message group, maybe an email group, but not all 3. We've chosen one. Each team has chosen one. And it kind of helps to nudge somebody who might not have made their commitments or who might have thought they did but forgot to push the commit button. It might be helpful to give a few attaboys and attagirls when people are really doing well. But keeping a communication thread is a good idea. My preference and the preference of the people I think who've been having success is to set your commitments the night before. I talked about that. They don't get done while you're sleeping, but they do seem to be fresh and ready for you when you start your day. One of my teams has a team member who self-confessed that she was very competitive. And I can tell already that she's one who likes to check things off before the rest of us wake up. And so I like to check things off as I go through the day. I like to see progress. It still counts if you wait till 11:59 and check them all off, but I'm a little competitive too. So I like to see how I can get my things done that I've committed to quickly and efficiently. I'm going to encourage you to make commitments for your days off, and I'll tell you why. Initially, when we tried this about a year ago, we didn't know when each other were taking days off. We knew some people were on vacation. We knew Sundays were a day of rest for some people, and this and that and the other thing. And it kind of started to feel like there was a lessening of interest. But now we can say and be purposeful that, hey, Sunday is going to be my day for my family, but I'm going to commit to smelling the roses. I'm going to commit to a quiet dinner with my spouse or time with my grandchildren. And that way my team knows that I'm getting balance in my life and that I have made some purposeful commitments even on my non-Isagenix business day. It helps us see that we're all living that rounded out life. I'm going to encourage that. And then probably the most important one on the page is keep your commitments real. Don't put down what you wish will happen. Put down what you're capable of doing. And remember, it's baby steps. That sometimes it's just posting 3 posts in Alive to Thrive Now. I would count that as 1 commitment, by the way. I wouldn't count that as 3 commitments. But if you said, gee, I'm going to commit to being a Crystal executive next weekend, and you haven't got any directors yet, and you haven't invited anybody to Alive to Thrive Now yet, it's probably not real. It's about what's real and possible and just being consistent. Okay, time's about up. The last page. I pointed out on tip number 2, having a business building focus. These are IPAs, or income producing activities. Just some examples, not an exhaustive list, not a complete list by any means. When you think of an income producing activity, think of any activity that involves a decision maker, something that you're doing that might involve a decision maker now or in the future. So here are a few categories. You could have prospecting and connecting be one of your commitments, or 2. You say, hey, how am I going to stay engaged with someone I've already met? How am I going to get in touch with someone I've never invited? How am I going to create curiosity and interest with someone who might not know this is right for them yet? How about inviting? Being intentional and purposeful, and knowing that your commitment is something that will help them solve their problem, not yours. Remember the training we've had on the questions of, are you open to taking a look at something that might help you with this? Or if I could show you a way? Those are great questions. Maybe you want to make a commitment once a week, twice a week, to ask that question of one person new. That's a great question. How about presenting? If you're going to host or attend a launch party, that's a great income producing activity. How about welcoming someone else's guest to Alive to Thrive Now, or directing one of your guests to alivetothrivenow.com? Great commitments. Fortune's in the follow-up. Don't forget to commit to follow up. That's where the fortune lies. Adding value posts to Alive to Thrive Now, making follow-up calls, getting those initial emails out after somebody signed up that you promised you would fill them in on things, keeping connected on text messages. There's follow-up activities of numerous sorts. And then the good old standby, the 3-way call, either as a connector or an expert in the role. This is just an idea list to help get you started. Essential is what is right for you. What is right for you? What can you commit to? So before I turn it over to question and answers and give that back to Brenda and anyone else, there's something that's important to me that I want to do tonight. I wanted to share with you my commitments for today, be public. The second one was because I had a friend who's wanted to look at this for a long time, and he's been reluctant, and so I needed to check in with Oli. There's a free membership offer. I'm going to tell you a story there. That didn't say that this morning. This morning it said, make 3 Alive to Thrive Now posts that are inviting. But as soon as I saw Eric Coover's birthday gift to us, I pushed the edit button. See the edit button? I pushed the edit button. And that has an asterisk at the end, so all my team knows that I edited that. But I didn't want to focus on Alive to Thrive Now. I wanted to get emails and promotion out to my team and the people who I cared about in terms of generating business, to let them know immediately that this was the week. I didn't even know it was 2 weeks at the time. I'm just creating urgency. So I wanted to show that to you, that you can edit, you can change your mind as the day goes on. Now, my third commitment was to finish what we're doing right now, was to train Commit to 3 on this call. Check. Hope that worked out for you. It worked out for me. My day is complete. We can open up the lines for questions. Bonnie, are you going to be the question? There we go. Does anybody have any comments or any questions or any other really great suggestions?
Well,
I have to stop sharing my screen, don't I?
Rod, phenomenal presentation. I loved it. I have heard briefly about this, and then it just sort of slipped my mind, and now front and center again. I can't wait to share this with everybody. Thank you.
The slide deck in a PDF format will be uploaded to our files on Alive to Thrive Business, but you'll notice that I didn't have any words on the slide deck. It was just pictures. So as long as you remembered what I said or have an idea, the slide deck will work for you, but I'll put it out there.
And I was also going to just say that it does work for Android phones too. I have one.
It did. Did it have a special app store?
I actually just went to Commit to 3 because I couldn't find it on the App Store.
Excellent. Excellent. I read all of their documentation. It didn't mention that, but I'm glad that thank you, Catherine. That's great.
I would say if you want to ask a question or make a comment, just go ahead and unmute yourself and go for it. One thing I would like to say, Rod, is first of all, you did an amazing job. Thank you so much. And just to clarify, for people who feel like, oh my gosh, how could I manage more than one team? And I've got 3 going right now. And I use the same commits for all 3. So you're able to be involved in supporting and accountability with more people without setting yourself up for more work. So I want to make that clear. And why would you have more than one team? Here's another piece. So I started out with a certain group of people, but I have other people who are wanting to form a team that I'm on as well. And, you know, the more is the merrier, really. Again, it's not more work. This actually makes our lives easier. But there is kind of, like Rod said, you know, you don't want to go more than 7 or 8 people on a team. The other thing I do want to make clear, guys, even though it's Commit to 3, you can do more than 3 things in a day to move your business forward. I mean, I hope that's obvious. You're not limited to 3, but you're only writing 3 down on your list. So those are the comments I wanted to make. Any questions?
I was telling Bonnie earlier before we started the call that sometimes at the end of the day, I realized, man, I just did a couple really important things that are helping my business, and I forgot to write them down today. I can't commit to them tomorrow because I already did them. You know, that's just the way it goes.
I appreciate your clarifying that, Bonnie, because you want to make it really what it's worth is the accountability, but not adding a lot more work. So thank you for clarifying that.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I enjoyed putting this together, and I hope to hear how it's working for you guys down the road.
Thanks.
Good job. Good job, Rob. Thank you so much.
Great job, Rob.
Excellent job.
Very clear.
Really enjoyed the training tonight.
Thank you.